Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Thursday, March the 9th, 2023. Thursday, March the 9th. Okay, so today's episode was a Thursday, okay? Nothing to scream and shout about. We start with Nina at the bar grilling her bartender who's in some type of business school or law school or whatever school he's in. And she says, uh, what would be a reason that a business owner could be investigated by the SEC? See? Oh, she heard a lot, right? And he's like, well, and at that point, Sonny walked up, says, why are you asking him a question like that? And she turned around. So the bartender walks away and she goes, oh, he's in business school, whatever school he's in. And I periodically asked him all kinds of, like textbook questions to keep him on his toes. Yeah, looked him dead in his face and lied to him. Dead in his face. And Sonny's not going to forget that. Once Nina makes the anonymous call, he's not going to forget you looked me dead in the face. Are you listening to me? That's what he's going to do. And she'll be, did she say thank you too? See, it'll be Carly's fault that Nina turned her in. But Sonny's going to finally see. Sonny's going to see. Look, because if Sonny and Olivia's blabbing in public, that gave Nina some ammunition, right? Anyway, I just shook my head at that. We have Gladys in the outer area of the dining room, the lounge area, meeting with Miss Wu, passing over Miss Wu, the deed to Brando's garage. And she goes, and before she gives the envelope to Miss Wu, she slides in and she goes, but this does clear up my debt with you, right? So Miss Wu takes the envelope, opens up the deed. Yes, it does. Consider your debt paid. Now, the overage in money can be direct deposited into your account, or I could put it on a tab for your next game. And Gladys goes, no, direct deposit. I've learned my lesson with that. Direct deposit, please. Right? Now, mind you, Gladys was on her little cell phone doing a gambling game. She hasn't learned her lesson at all. At all. But she knows she barely escaped, right? So Sonny, after he talks to Nina, because Curtis came in, Curtis wanted to talk to Nina. So Sonny says, oh, you know what? I'll give you two some privacy. So Wu walks up to him. Sonny, why was my shipment from Pier 55, why was that diverted and turned away? He looked at her. He says, look, she goes, I'm not trying to muscle in on your deal with Pikeman. And he looked at her, he goes, you are allowed to use my piers at my discretion. He said, and last night was not a good night. You remember that. No, then he said, you use my piers at my discretion. That's the deal. Remember it. And she goes, walks away. Oh, she don't buck up against Sonny. But guess what? If Sonny found out she fleeced Gladys, Selena would have a problem on her hands, right? So when Selena walked away, Gladys was walking in and she saw Sonny. So she wanted to kind of tiptoe back, and Sonny said, Gladys. And she goes, oh, Cousin Sonny. And he goes, why were you talking to Miss Wu? Well, you know how you didn't want me to take that lowball real estate, the lowball offer on Brando's garage. Well, I took a much more lucrative offer. Miss Wu now owns the garage. She paid an excellent price for it. So Sonny said, okay. He says, I don't have a problem with that. It's a legitimate business, a legitimate deal. He said, as long as Sasha was okay with it. And he goes, Gladys, Sasha was okay with it, right? And she takes off. So now you know what Sonny's going to do. He's going to ask Sasha. He's going to ask Sasha, did you know? Lord, it's sold now, but, did you know? So we have Sasha showing up at the stables, bringing Brando a thank you gift with those little dry biscuit things, right? Look, you need to dip them in a gallon of coffee. But so she says it was a thank you because he didn't rat her out that she wasn't an attorney. And then he told her that he's happy Dante got there in time to help her. And she goes, you sent Dante, and blah, blah, blah. They go back and forth, they talk, and trust me, I fast forwarded the rest of their scene and all the subsequent scenes they had after. So everybody, if anyone heard something substantial that you thought we all should know about that happened between Brando and Sasha, put it in the comments, okay? Because there are certain storylines I just don't want to see, and I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to talk about it. So that doesn't mean you guys can't update us all to some of those things, okay? And that's one of them, okay? So now, let's see, I've got Gladys. Oh my goodness. And another waste of time, waste of space was Lucy pulling a tantrum. That was ridiculous. She's intentionally being a pain in the behind, intentionally. Using up all the hot water, because the water's so hard. I have to really rinse and rinse and rinse all the conditioner out of my hair. To drinking up the last of the coffee that she complained about, said it didn't even taste good, but she sure drank it up from Valentine. And she's just stomping her feet, and Marty can't be, and Valentine did some little kissy face something. No, my Marty's not here. I don't want to look at you two. My Marty's having to visit his mother, take care of his mother, some crap, right? And they just looked at her like, oh, and where is Felicia? I want to go home. I want to leave. I want to. And Valentine says, you know what? I'm beginning to rethink us rescuing her. Because she was obviously living in better conditions than here, which Lucy is just being ungrateful and ridiculous. Victor faked her shooting this time. He can make it real next time, Lucy. You being held captive. Oh, you wasn't washing shampoo out of your hair. They wasn't even letting you wash, right? You're gagged, and you got the nerve to complain. The bed you sleeping in ought to feel like 5-star compared to being hung up, right? Hung up on bars and just no, Lucy, stop being a brat. And then Felicia gets there and lets it slip because, oh my, I fast forwarded all of this part. Maxie talking about the nurses' ball and doing something special for General Hospital 60th and yada, yada, yada. She's going to take it on. I guess deception is running itself, right? I guess it is. Because that's a big undertaking, the nurses' ball. But Maxie, she's going to have Bobby to be the co-chair because, Bobby's been there for 40 years. But like Bobby said, it was for 20 years before she got there. But yeah, Bobby's one of the oldest ones there now. I don't know if they'll bring Monica out of retirement or semi-retirement to be there. But Bobby still got some pep in her step. So she agreed, and Felicia let it slip. And now Lucy's jealous. Bobby Spencer is not going to take nothing else from me. Oh, I just fast forwarded. Now, Eileen, she did sleep with Victor. And it's interesting. Her playing him looked pretty good to me. I could see those two as a couple. And Victor's like, I guess, look, Victor couldn't perform the night before, which was okay with Eileen because bottom line, she's being forced to do this anyway. She slept well, right? Unbothered. And he says, she goes, oh, you know what? Don't worry about it. We could try again later and all of that. And Victor's, his little ego's hurt, he just isn't up to par and this, that, and the other. So they show him and he tells Eileen, next time you only come when I call for you to come. And she was like, oh, okay, well, I found a way to get some information on Holly Sutton. And he goes, what? Yeah, there's a redacted file with her condition and there, more of a report on what happened that night. And he goes, well, get it now. And get it. And so she goes right away. So she goes out and she calls Anna, telling Anna, he took the bait, but she's going to need that file. So they're probably going to give a fake one, right? And you could overhear Lucy just arguing and yelling at Valentine. And Anna couldn't even concentrate on Eileen trying to give her the 411. And so she goes, look, you know what? I'm going to have to get back with you later. And she's trying to mediate between Valentine and Lucy. But Eileen was waiting at, when people are sitting at that little coffee place, wherever that was, I never know where that is. If any of you Daily Recap fans, where Laura came and met Eileen, where is that? What place is that? It's not Kelly's. I don't know what place that is, but quite often people meet there. And I would like to know, where is that place? So if you all know, put it in the comments for Comment Corner, okay? And Laura's talking to her. And so Eileen is like, so I'm sure Anna Devane, told you all about my fall from grace. And now you know. And Laura says, oh, Eileen, we've known about you from the very beginning. We just decided to keep you close while we were deciding if you had any value to us. Whoa! I was like, go ahead, Laura, go ahead. Wow, right? So Eileen just looked at her. Laura was saying, giving her some more instructions to do. And let's see, we had some great scenes with Ava and Trina, really good heart to heart. I really like their relationship. I really, really do. Trina finally got to tell her what was going on. And she was saying Curtis wants a DNA test, but nothing, she does, doesn't want nothing to change between her father, but she feels things are already changing and blah, blah, blah. And so and she goes, Ava says, well, do you want a DNA test? And Trina's like, it's not going to make a difference to me because Marcus Taggart is always my dad, and he will always be my dad. So it won't make a difference. And so Ava says, okay, then it won't make a difference and don't take it. She goes, it's up to you. She says, but as for me, when I look in the mirror at myself, I want to know, where am I? Where do I come from? Who am I? I want to know that for me. But see, Trina, that's just me, right? That's just me. Because I think if history serves me right, Ava found out late in life that she was a Jerome. So if anybody has any of that information from Ryan's Hope and all of that good stuff, When did Ava find out, or even early days of her character coming to General Hospital, when did she find out she was a Jerome? I think she came knowing she was a Jerome, but had pretty much recently found out she was a Jerome because she always felt like an outcast, right? Which is why she wanted to try to be so ruthless to prove she was a Jerome, right? It's in her blood, murder. Murder is in her blood, right? So we have, now this was the biggest hypocritical conversation I've heard. We've got Curtis telling Nina the whole story about Portia keeping his child from him for 20, what could be his child, for 20 years. 20. And Nina says, she was afraid of losing her. You know, Curtis, I can't condemn Portia because she was protecting her child. And, you know, I can't condemn her. And he looked and he goes, well, look, I know it's not what Carly did to you, but, and she goes, no, not at all. You know, Carly, you know, what Carly did to Nina was worse. And I thought, you know what, you guys both need to be run over by a truck. Let's, that didn't even sound logical or right coming out of both your stupid mouths. Carly kept the knowledge that Willow was Nina's daughter only for 8 months. 8. That was it. If 8, right? That was it. That was it. And came forward when Willow she found out Willow was sick. Portia wasn't coming forward with nothing. And Portia, now mind you, Carly kept the knowledge of paternity for 8 months. Portia kept the possible knowledge of paternity for 20 doggone years. 20. Portia allowed Trina to live right up in his house with him and still not let the man give him the courtesy of knowing her as his actual child if she was his child. He point blank when they first got together and he realized who Trina's mother was and who she, you know, and she saw Trina for the first time, he asked her, is she? And Portia was, there's not a chance she is. Not a chance. So you are going to tell me that what Portia did is not as bad as what Carly did. You've got, I said, and I say, you know what? Both you two deserve what you're getting. Curtis, be just as self-righteous as you want to be. Because he's saying, look, I don't know if me and Portia still going to be married, you know, it's time next week. I don't know. Right? Good. Stand your ground, Curtis. Stand your ground. But yet in the next breath, you were like, it was hard for me to look her in her big, beautiful brown eyes. Oh, are they beautiful and brown? Oh, are they? You one step going back home, buddy. But you need to eat some crow when you talk to Drew first, right? Eat some crow. Because how could he even be friends with Carly after what she did? How could you even stay married to Nina? I mean, not Nina, oh my God, to Portia after what she did. Let's see. Let's see. Is he going to have a little double standard going on? Is there a double standard? Okay. So let's go to comment corner. Comment corner. We got a lot of comments. Listen, everybody, I am going to breeze through these comments. There's a couple I don't quite understand. I'm breezing right past those comments. LaShawn says, where is the prosecutor Arden, the one that was trying to convict Trina? They don't need her. LaShawn also says, Dante Falconeri and Lulu Spencer are divorced. He has moved on and he is with Sam McCall. Yes, he has. Kamala says, though Spencer expresses his 2 cents and can get hot-headed, it appears he eventually listens and gives into his grandmother Laura's suggestions and advice. Since I've tuned in and out of General Hospital, I have been watching the videos on YouTube on the history, on Nicholas's history, to refresh my memory. I saw that Nicholas's story was similar to Spencer's story growing up. not excusing Nicholas's behavior. I could see the painful upbringing that Nicholas went through and had to endure. Also, Spencer blames himself for Nicholas' disappearance, though he is alive. Well, Spencer doesn't think he's dead. He just thinks Nicholas has disappeared. Esme used Spencer to hurt his father and Ava. Considering Spencer's upbringing, I believe Spencer is trying to protect his baby brother Ace so that Ace doesn't go through the same ordeal he did. Despite all this, I think Spencer is trying to be a better person by overcoming his pain with Laura's help and with Trina's love and company. The Sun says, that was Allie's last days as plain. Heather Weber on General Hospital. She did a great job. Kudos to her. The Shuns also says, I cannot wait to see the Nurses Ball. I will be watching when it comes. You know, I've never been a fan of that Nurses Ball, everybody. I'm going to tell you, it just bored me to tears. Anyway, LaShawn says the original Victor Cassadine is played by a guy that plays Tony and Andre Damira on Days of Our Lives. LaShawn also says Heather Weber doesn't know how to be a good mother. LaShawn also says, where is Phyllis Caulfield at Nina Reeves' need? Well, she needs it right now. Phyllis is never there for Nina. They never even have her. They could just keep her back in Nixon Falls. Gwendolyn says, we finally going to see the effects of what Holly gave Wu to slip into Victor's drink. Speaking of Miss Wu, she's in everybody's business. I mean, she got the tea. Who was she speaking to on the phone? Did you see how Esme's baby was gumming that pacifier? He sure was. Ace is cutting some teeth. Give that baby a teething ring. Okay, yes, we are starting to see the effects. I wonder did Holly activate it or somebody activated? Or, because isn't it funny, once he sniped that Wu, she kind of turned very, very well. She turned and she took out her cell phone and she pushed a few buttons. And then she turned around and Victor kind of apologized. And he said, I haven't been myself lately. She goes, clearly. And she gets up and she walks away and she looks at him kind of grinningly. And I'm like, did she go, you're activated? I mean, what does she do, right? So she calls Holly. She says, Miss Sutton, you know, it seems to be what you had me put in his drink is starting to take effect. So good. Let's see it. Let's see what's going to happen. Deborah says, Liz made me sick for an educational. She acts so stupid. Talking to Cameron like a little girl. Can you forgive me? I just made a mistake. I got to go to the party. So glad Cameron was excited. He accepted Stanford. He needs a break from PC to get away from Joss. I hear Cameron got a movie deal from Netflix. He is taking some time off from General Hospital. But you can tell Esme really loves her baby Ace. But if she keeps her baby close, she might have a chance of getting out of trouble. Laura will protect her. And Jane asks, where's Phyllis? We don't know where Phyllis is. And then we have Lucy says, it's cool. You know what I meant. We know what you meant. Erica Kane, she'd be great if she made an appearance on General Hospital since the soap All My Children is gone. And then Jane says it'd be cool if Susan Lucci made an appearance as Erica Kane. Well, that would have been cool, like on that Home Shopping Network. If that would have been her, that would have been cool. And then YAA says, the way you got Elizabeth and Portia pat down, they are such damsels. It's irritating. Sunny D says, they need to film the baby scenes when the newborn twins are napping. It would be so more believable. Esme should get a DNA test on herself and her baby instead of believing what people are telling her. She said herself that she doesn't trust the Cassadines and everybody is just believing crazy Heather. Anna Rihanna says, Portia this is all you're doing. So you need to give everyone some time to either reunite with you or not. Things will never be the same, even if you do reunite with Curtis and Trina. It couldn't be. The damage is done. Like Cameron's character, however, he served his purpose, like Ed Cameron's character, but he served his purpose. It's time to move on. It really is. We're done. If he comes back later, he'll be grown and a different actor. Can't stand Liz. She is so selfish and thoughtless. Best mother ever? Psh, you got to be kidding. Esme and Nicholas are both stubborn. We saw way back in the day, Esme is already selfish and is not putting her baby's needs first. She's already using the baby. And when she gets her memory back, folks, look out. Great recap. NK Rose says Trina 2.0 looks like Portia's dad. And Lucy says, I was happy that Curtis listened to what Portia had to say. The best part was the last part when he says he'll think about coming home. Curtis obviously still loves Portia. And then Lucy said, Cameron doesn't have to police his mother. She told the cops, and they gave her amnesty. And Lucy also says, geesh, when grandmother Laura handed Esme the blanket, why didn't she unfold it? It's the blanket is supposed to cover up the baby's body. I know, right? And then ISPY says, Stella worked the night shift comedy on CBS, nighttime comedy. I guess there's a show on CBS. She's a regular. That's why she goes in and out of General Hospital part-time. Google the show. That's why she goes back and forth. Well, look, having her come back and forth, at least make it a decent stint. At least make her have an argument with Curtis. Okay? You had her back. She tries on a stupid dress. She talks in riddles to Trina, but doesn't talk to the main person, her nephew that she raised. So no, that part didn't make sense. She can't be that busy. Miracle said, Jonathan Jackson is coming back very soon. He is Cameron's daddy. What? How's Cameron going to get killed by the Hook Heather? Heather's gone. The Hook storyline is all done. I don't believe that, Miracle. Xander, Cameron's father, has been dead for decades. Let's see, 87 Jackson, Jackson. I love Susan Lucci in Lifetime's Devious Maids. And then 87 Jackson says, Liz, Mother of the Year, ? Michael says, why is Liz so honest all of a sudden? Will she have the same conversation with Jake and Aiden? Marshall does not have schizophrenia and was misdiagnosed. Are they going to make it a racial medical inequity storyline? Portia and Trina's scene was very similar to Nina and Willow's scene. Esme got or is getting her memory back. Esme's attitude is like the old Esme. The baby didn't want to go to jail, and that's why he's crying, right? Ace knows his mother's crazy. Great recap. And DB says, poor Ace. He must have known he was getting off to the lesser of the two options. And then Lucy said to DB, baby Ace was upset because his chubby little legs were cold. I know. And then DB says back to Lucy, if he thinks it's cold now, wait until he gets home, meaning to the big house home, right? To the cold house, locked up home. And then Lucy said to DB, I'm having a hard time with Esme's baby storyline. He just doesn't fit too big. And then we talk again about, DB says to Lucy, not only is Esme needs a mommy do-over, definitely a new hairdo. Hope they cut her hair before she goes to prison. They're going to let her keep all that long hair. Marcia says the baby was crying for Laura or Spencer to get him. And then, of course, we go back to now they have to have 3-month-old babies. And then Lucy says to Marcia, thanks, but I'd rather see a newborn doll than a 3-month as old as a newborn. Me too. There was, when you think about it, showing Willow's newborn baby and Esme's newborn baby. Yes, they were beautiful babies. They were so doggone cute, but we didn't have to have real babies, right? Because those babies stole the show as newborns. We needed they have very lifelike, soft, humanoid dolls, period. They should have used them. We didn't need to see a newborn coming out of the nursery pretty much on everybody's hip, putting his head on Spencer's shoulder, looking at the camera. We didn't need that. These were newborns. We didn't even reach, you know what they do with newborns? You get a glimpse of a head looking like a newborn, right? And the dolls are so lifelike, they couldn't even show a profile. We would have thought it was a baby, or who cared? It could have been a baby doll. They use that in soaps, it shows all the time. These little kids needed to be Amelia and Ace 3 months from now. That's when they should have brought them on. Because now they're going to be pushed around in strollers. They're going to be having play dates. They're going to be doing all of that. And that would be fine, right? And then NK Rose says, if I was Trina, I would have been pissed how Esme was going to throw away the blanket. Well, she wasn't going to throw it away. And then Lucy said the blanket scene was choppy. I don't believe Esme was told it was from Trina. She wasn't told it was from Trina. Trina was just holding the bag. Marcia said to Lucy, she saw Trina holding the bag, but Esme is faking her memory loss. Maybe. Susan says, no one mentioned that it was from Trina, but when Spencer took it out of the bag, Esme must have thought it was from him, and she didn't trust him anymore. She should not have said anything about Ace staying, or he should not have said anything about Ace staying with anyone else while she was in prison. Jess should have asked her how she was feeling. Well, Spencer thought he could get a cast-iron upper hand. And then Lucy said to Susan, good thing Grandma Laura was there. Susan says she's a smart mediator and gives good advice to handle things more smoothly and not alienate Esme. She also let Esme know that she is Ace's grandmother and has his best interest at heart. Yes, she sure did. She was there when Ace was born and supporting Esme through the birth. She shared the experience of her first childbirth. She just didn't say it was Nicholas, right? So she was telling Esme all this to start gaining her trust. And Lucy says to Susan, all part of Laura, Felicia, Anna, Valentine's group scheme around the Ice Princess, coated stones, and to find out what really happened to Luke. Sandy says Curtis is acting like a big baby. He needs to get over himself. Esme is going to get her memory back and use the baby over and use that baby to get over on everybody. And then Lucy says Esme's baby is her ace in the hole. And then Susan says, I was so happy for Cam. He's got a scholarship at Stanford and he gets to leave and go to a new place away from Josh and Esme, and maybe Emma Drake will be there. Who knows? It's on the Pacific Coast out here. Maybe he will run into Emma. I am hoping that he and Emma reunite. He deserves a break from Port Charles and a fresh new environment that will help him get over Josh. And he won't have to see her anymore, or Esme for that matter. He did tell his mother that he was proud of her for being brave enough to do the right thing. Nicholas will be in trouble for holding Esme hostage, even though she did break into his safe. Esme told Portia that understands that she did some terrible things to her daughter Trina, who helped bring her to the hospital when she turned up on the Haunted Star. Spring Ridge is more like a community center and a better environment to be allowed to have a baby for the first 18 months. I doubt little cute Ace would know where he is. Esme will give him a lot of love and care. Well, we shall see, right? I was shocked when Eileen said she had been intimate with Victor. Me too. They just threw that in the storyline. When she will meet with him and try to get some information out of him, Laura will check on Esme and baby Ace. And let's see, any money that right now coming Charlotte's way, yes, Laura's going to have that in some kind of trust. And then you said, I think Christian Storms had some kind of brain surgery. Really? I didn't know that. And Karen says, I gasped to Eileen and Victor. Yuck. NK Rose says, Portia is going to do a secret DNA test behind Trina's back. Now that'd be messed up. Because see, for 20 years, you couldn't do a DNA test. Now, I'm an adult and I'm saying I need a little time. You better not get my DNA and do a DNA test now. You bet not. Okay? So anyway, that's it for Comic Corner. That's it for my daily recap of General Hospital. I will be back tomorrow for another daily recap.